The greatest pressure in life doesn't come from failure. It comes from pretending to be what others expect. Once there was a girl named Lina. She was a 22-year-old young woman with warm olive skin, soft brown eyes that often hid behind silver-rimmed glasses, and dark chestnut hair tied neatly in a low ponytail. She carried herself with quiet grace, always polite, always composed. The kind of person who looked like she had everything under control. From the outside, everything in Lina's life looked perfect. Relatives often said, "Be like Lina, she never disappoints." And she would smile, her dimples showing just slightly as if to agree. But deep down, every compliment felt heavier than the last. Every word of praise was another brick added to the invisible wall around her. A wall built from expectations, comparisons, and fear of failure. At night, when the house went silent, Lina would lie awake staring at the ceiling, her thoughts whispering, "What if I fail tomorrow? What if I stop being the girl they're proud of?" The truth was, she wasn't living her life. She was living the version others had designed for her. Lina's mornings were filled with routine, not joy. Wake up early, study for exams, smile at everyone, pretend everything is fine. In the mirror, she saw her reflection, tired eyes above perfect eyeliner, a carefully ironed white shirt, and a forced smile. Her mother often said, "You're lucky, Lina. You'll become a doctor one day. You'll make us proud." And Lina would nod, even though medicine wasn't her dream. It was her family's dream. Every time she wanted to say, "I want something different," fear stopped her. Fear of judgment. Fear of disappointing those who loved her. One afternoon, during a medical exam, Lina's hands began to shake. Her heart pounded so fast that she couldn't read the paper in front of her. The classroom lights blurred. She felt trapped in her own skin. She left the hall quietly, sat on the steps outside, and buried her face in her trembling hands. Tears fell as she whispered, "I'm tired. I can't do this anymore." But what scared her wasn't the thought of failing the test. It was the thought of what people would say if she did. That's how deep society's pressure cuts. It makes us fear shame more than suffering. A few days later, one of her professors noticed her silence and asked gently, "Lina, do you love what you're doing?" She hesitated. "It's what my parents want." The professor looked at her with kind eyes and said, "You can't live your whole life proving your worth to others. One day you'll realize you were meant to make yourself proud, not them." Those words stayed with her like a quiet echo she couldn't ignore. That night she wrote in her journal, "I've been chasing perfection, not peace. I've been living for applause, not meaning." After weeks of thinking, Lina made a decision that terrified her. She told her parents she wanted to switch her major to psychology. Her father frowned. "Psychology? What kind of future is that?" Her mother sighed. "People will talk. Don't throw away your career." And maybe people did talk. But for the first time, Lina didn't listen. She followed what made her feel alive. She studied human emotions, the mind, and healing. She began to understand. She was never weak. She was pressured. She wasn't lost. She was buried under expectations. And slowly she began to rise. Years later, Lina became a therapist, helping others who felt crushed by the same weight she once carried. Her office wall had no medals or trophies, just a framed quote that read, "You don't owe the world perfection, you owe yourself peace." Now when she walks home, she smiles, not for others, but for herself. The girl who once lived for approval had learned to live for authenticity. The moral of the story is, society often pressures us to chase success, reputation, and approval. But true peace begins when you stop performing for others and start listening to yourself. Perfection is not strength. Authenticity is. You can't please everyone, but you can choose to live honestly. And that is the greatest freedom of all.